Hey, welcome back to the show. I've got to get my notebook before I rip, but I thought I had it here. I thought I was ready. I'll be right back. Let's see. Here you go. Be right back. I guess maybe I should tell the world I'm live. Oh, hey folks. We got some folks here. Hey. Say hello. What's good? What's good? Hey Carly. Hey He-Man. This is what I think I want to do. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. I think I want to add a note to Scholars. I want to do a daily download. I want to do a VFAM not yet a DAO update. VFAM update, and I was also going to say something about something else. Oh, you know what? I don't need to record a podcast about this, but I was just like, maybe I'll work in it on Wednesday with the recap. But I've been really right a couple of times, and I feel like I'm not always going to be right. So I should like cherish the moments I am right. Because with Gary being quiet over the weekend, I really called it, and I called the market dip. Not quite so much. Oh, what? Your browser has lost connection to your camera? Did that really just happen? Pardon me, folks. Pardon me, folks. Oh, God. Oh, that was bad. Oh, shoot. Hope you're enjoying this. As far as I know, you still have audio. Okay. Oops. Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy. Camera's back on, but where? Why? Huh. Okay, let's try this. That was a really, really silly thing to trigger an entire camera failure. Please? No, huh? Oh, shit. What happened? Was it? Oh, I know. Was it? Wait, what? Was it this? Please stand by. That sucks. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna That was a moment. And we're back. Okay. What I was saying wasn't really that important. I was just suggesting that I've had a few good calls, and that won't last forever, and I should acknowledge it while I've been on a roll. And I also say that because, they surprised us with a Sorcerer Scholarship announcement today. It wasn't, they surprised us with news. And just this morning, I went heavy on talking about wanting to post content about other people's stories. And I just feel like I've really been on pulse with them and kind of on pulse with Gary. And it's sometimes a little spooky, like the serendipity of me talking about something and them doing what they do. But I don't need to glorify it in a podcast. So let's get to the recording. I'm hoping I can just sort of blaze through some stuffs. So what do I want to say here? I remember. Wish me luck. Hey folks, welcome back to Jeremy Knows. I wanted to add a quick added thought to the previous podcast about the Sorcerer Scholarship update that came through. If you missed it, we have finalists, and they've been asked to deliver a 60-second video saying what they would do with the money if they sold the token after the experience. Super exciting. A lot of folks in the community you'll recognize working on or having submitted those videos today. Those are due Wednesday night, and we're expecting on Saturday the next announcement. It would seem that we'll find out who the 5 Sorcerer Scholarship winners are, but we don't know for sure. And as I do, I recorded the podcast live while on Instagram, and I found a new thought in the comments. And as I've considered it more, I think it's worth sharing a bit of hope. I don't think it's I hope it's not a hopeless situation if you didn't receive the email today. As I said in the previous podcast, there's plenty to be grateful for. Hopefully the experience has given you some value just through self-awareness and reflection. But I have to admit that I may have spoke too soon because I don't know what I don't know. And what I mean by that is my initial synthesis of the information I received was that they would do it all in one batch, that everyone who received their email today were the only people that would receive emails. And while I could see that makes sense, and I think if that's not the case, that might cause some confusion in the interim, but I don't actually know that. And no one in the VFriends organization has confirmed that. So if you heard the last podcast and you checked your email and you're feeling upset, please keep your expectations in check because this is a highly competitive scholarship. However, it is possible that after reviewing 50% or 60, 70% of the essays, they decided to send out this task and give people 48 hours. And with the remaining essays that they've yet to sift through, that they'll be emailing people tomorrow and giving them 48 hours. They could hypothetically do that for the next 2 days and give each group 48 hours and still have time to review those videos and make a choice for Saturday to make an announcement. We don't know. Other things we don't know. We have no idea how many people were presented with this opportunity. I think within the community people I've spoke to, there's maybe 8 to 10 people that I've actually engaged with. They confirmed they got an essay. But as I told you in the last podcast, my intuition says it's closer to 55. And maybe the 5 is not important in this situation, and there's only 15 or 20 people in the mix. But I'm just calling attention to the things that we don't know, and sort of correcting myself that I spoke too early to be certain that this process is over for you if you didn't receive an email. And that's just what I want to communicate. So, in addition to not knowing if another round of emails will be coming out, we don't know how many people are competing in this finalist batch. And the last thing that we don't know, in addition to not knowing what they're going to announce on Saturday, sort of presuming that we'll get the winners, we don't know how many spots these finalists are competing for. Someone brought to my attention that there could be 1, 2, 3, or 4 spots that have already been determined. Let's say there's a pool of 20 to 30 people that are sending in these videos over the next 48 hours. We don't know if they're competing for a single spot, for 3 spots, for 4. And so I don't want to, I just want to be very careful in the way that I maybe set an expectation, but more so, I want to be objective in how I'm reporting the facts to you. And those are the facts, that we know a lot less than we do know. So if you can take care of yourself and your mental health while you hold on to hope that there is still more time, those of us who didn't receive an email asking for a video submission also didn't receive an email saying that we didn't get it. So at the very least, I think we can maintain a confidence and hopefulness that you're still in this race until someone tells you you're out. Because no one yet has told, to my knowledge at least, no one yet has been told that they are no longer in the running. And like I said, we don't know how many applicants received this email. We don't know how many spots they're vying for. And we don't really know if we're going to get a confirmation on Saturday or not. We just know we're going to get an announcement. And the announcement, in the way that it was stated by VFriends, is that they would reach out to all Sorcerer Scholarship applicants. So that leeway of, well, you haven't been asked to do the second task, but you also haven't been told you're out of the running, it would seem that you will find out on the 25th if you're out of the running. Whether or not we're given the actual winners is to be announced. I'm leaning toward yes, but I'm just trying to communicate to you what we can verify. So I hope that was helpful, or put some nerves to ease, or otherwise is valuable. My name's Jeremy. This was, again, Jeremy Knows. I'm the Heart Trooper number 7, and I'll see you tomorrow. In fact, I think tomorrow there might be a few podcasts, so I'll see you today. What'd y'all think of that? Hey, Jess Q. What's good, Jess Q? Hey. Yeah, just a simple one. That was I maybe ranted on in that one, but I guess I also just don't want to be wrong. I don't want to take people's hope away and turn out to be wrong. Okay, now we got a daily download. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. I'm being a little quiet. It's late here in New York City. Thank you for listening to Jeremy Knows. I'm your host, Jeremy, the Heart Trooper number 7, and we're back with a daily download. I was very pleased to find out that the day I chose to take off, also Gary chose to take off. Now, Gary probably didn't take the day off. Hopefully he got time with his family and, was living his best life. But we didn't see him in the Discord. And naturally, I took note of this. In fact, to my knowledge, this is the longest time we haven't seen Gary in the Discord since the launch of the entire Discord server. And I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty significant. I'm going to call it up right now because Gary just broke his silence at about 10:37 on Monday evening. But we hadn't heard from him since the 17th, a full 3 days of nothing from Gary. A few tweets here and there, but mostly quiet on all platforms. And I I have to give myself a pat on the back where I tweeted this morning. I said, Gary's been quiet for longer than ever. Something big is brewing. And as we move into the news, there was an update, not an announcement, but some news on the Sorcerer Scholarship application. So you can check the previous podcast for the full breakdown, but an unknown number of applicants for the scholarship were contacted this afternoon, Monday the 20th, to submit a 60-second video responding to Gary's question. The question is, if you were to sell the token after the experience, what would you do with the money in 60 seconds or less? Pretty exciting. We're looking forward to hopefully a confirmation of the winners on Saturday when we have the scheduled announcement, but that is also TBA. So moving into some other news, just stuff that happened over the weekend. We got a marketing for the Now episode on Thursday. And this is actually going back a few days now. Another great episode. Check it out on YouTube if you want to get all the details, a lot of insights. One of the guests was actually Swan Sit, who is known, not colloquially, but admirably. She's affectionately, that's the word. She's affectionately called the Queen of Clubhouse. And they had a really great, these are short interviews, conversation about marketing during this time and how would you teach someone who's like old school marketing to work here and now. But it was a really surprise treat when Swan came into the VFriends Insiders Clubhouse room that night and spent a couple of hours with us, sort of discussing VFriends, NFTs, Clubhouse culture, and the rest. So welcome Swan into the VFriends community. As you can imagine, Swan is looking for a sweet Swan NFT. So if you happen to be a holder, please reach out. I'll be happy to connect you. You definitely have a market. Other stuff going on. Gary went to a Candy Digital meetup in New York City. I don't have a lot of details about the event. A lot of sports cards collectors, a lot of sports fans and collectors in general, Gary V fans in the mix. Gary made a surprise appearance. It was by all accounts like a standard networking event, but they also had some displays of the NFTs that they've created and are just building that community. So whether you're in New York City or not, if you're into sports and the NFTs that Candy has released, I highly suggest you join their Discord. You can check them on candy.com. And Gary alluded to the fact that there will be more surprises from him and Candy. So you may want to check that out. We also got a new episode of Props and Drops. Props and Drops episode 6 landed on, I think, Thursday as well. And some interesting revelations. So I'm not going to do a full breakdown, but these are the big takeaways for me. Number one, Gary speaking with Kalish about his regret selling the Diamond Hands Hen. You may remember that Kalish purchased it for 80 ETH maybe a month ago. And Gary told the story of how his brother AJ texted him and was like, bro, I'm so glad you have the Diamond Hands Hen. I think it might be the very best one. And Gary was like, oh yeah. And then he went to check it and he had forgotten that he had sold it to him like just days prior and now regrets it and spoke very candidly and clearly, similarly to how he told the Discord weeks ago that he'd rather not sell. He doesn't want to sell. He does not want to sell from that wallet. There's a lot of nuggets in there. They really do go deep, and we get a lot more details on VFriends within the podcast. I'm confusing that interview with the G Money interview, but more talk about profit sharing benefits for specific character tokens, having the ability to sort of add utility on a whim, as it were, as new ideas come, the same way he alluded to VCon 5 on Twitter. Maybe I'll give it another listen and do a full breakdown, but I mostly just want to call your attention to it. Props and Drops number 6 is out. The second big highlight was Gary and Kalish speaking about the foundation that you should come to the market with in terms of money you have to lose. That before they're pulling out money and buying NFTs, they actually spoke about having like cash in the ground, like a certain number that sits in cash. It could be making more money elsewhere, but it sits in cash for the safety and the consistency of that. And Gary joked about, but it's serious. It's a joke, but it's also serious within his Russian heritage, that they would bury cash in the ground, and it's like 7 paces from the shed, turn 75 degrees, walk for 10 meters, that sort of thing. And Gary explained that he does have that cash sitting ready, essentially an emergency fund. Then get out of debt as quickly as you can by any means. Then, was there one more? No, I think then you can start to play. Have your emergency fund, get out of debt, and then play with money you can lose is always going to be a winning strategy. We've said it before. I've been parodying it from Gary, and that is, if you're feeling the emotional roller coaster of this market, or if you're watching the daily floor price on the collections that you're bought into, you may be over leveraged, and you might consider taking some money off the table so as to maintain your mental health and have a better relationship with the market, because none of us are making good decisions when we're highly emotional or desperate or in fear or doubt. Lastly, we did have the Dapper Dinos drop over the last week. And in addition to a very successful airdrop, the collection now has already seen over, I'm recording this Monday night, but they've now seen over 2,200 ETH in volume traded, which is very significant. I also want to call your attention to the 0.2 floor, which is slightly on the rise today. And I want to tell you a story or a couple of stories. So one, we discovered that there is a VFriends Easter egg in the Dapper Dino collection. It's 2 types of t-shirts in the properties. There's a white t-shirt and a gray t-shirt. And on the left side of the chest, there's the image of the truculent T-Rex as Gary drew it. And it's a rare trait. There are only 55 of each. I can bet you that was intentional. And so that makes it like less than 0.5% rarity. Really, really wonderful. I went out and bought one just because I was like, VFriends. And it's been fun to hear these stories of people winning the PLP, receiving Dapper Dino, and it being worth more than what they paid for their core token. Like, I have a friend, his name is Tyler, and he has a focused Falcon, and he didn't dive into NFTs after this. He wanted to get in just to support Gary. He doesn't check the market ever at all. He knew from the moment that he bought it that he was going to be holding on to this for the rest of his life. And I finally circled back with him a couple days later, and I was like, hey, have you checked your wallet? I checked all Alex's and mine and yada, yada. I didn't check your wallet. There was an airdrop, and it could be worth a little money. And Tyler just hit the jackpot on this. Not only did he win the Dapper Dinos PLP, but he got one with laser eyes, which is like 1%, and hollow horns and no t-shirt. It looks sick. It's got like a rare background. I was like, bro, this is worth money. And let's just look at it objectively. Like, that token is worth more than what he paid for his Focus Falcon, and all he had to do was hold it for 4 months. It's fun to see this concept playing out in the short term, because we know the long-term potential is far, far more. Very, very cool. Last thing on Dapper Dinos, and I'm hoping I can remember this number. I believe it was number 89. Has it been revealed? There is a very special Dapper Dinos egg. No, maybe it's 18. I don't want to make you guys wait as I find this. I think it's 18. Has it been revealed? if you're following me on Instagram, you saw this in the stories. I'm gonna pause the recording so I can find out and give you the details on this, because this is really fun. There's a very special egg in the collection, and it wasn't airdropped to a VFriend wallet, but the person who collected it was able to get it because Gary promoted Dapper Dinos, brought attention to it, and they were able to pre-mint this token. So let me get the details on that. I'll be right back. Are we enjoying this, y'all? Are we enjoying this? That was good. Short and sweet. Good. My birthday in a few hours. Nice. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jess. Let me get the info on this token. I hope that one wasn't too rambly. Yeah, it is 18. I had the right number, but I didn't find it. So 18. Oh, here it is. I just skipped right past it. Wow. Interesting. Okay, we're back. Just quick story. Dapper Dino number 18 was pre-minted by a member of our own community, and it was just really fun to follow this story because it was the last egg to hatch, and they had alluded to a one-of-one rare, and it's fun that it went to someone in our community. There was a 4 ETH wrapped offer on this. Then there was an 8 ETH offer. The owner chose not to sell it. They're holding on. They've got this one-of-one rare that was, I believe, created in collaboration with the children, because this is a father-child duo building this project. Really big congratulations to people who, really wanted to get into VFriends, didn't allow that loss to get in their way from learning, participating, and winning in this space. It may be the textbook definition of beginner's luck because this is the first NFT that they purchased. The in-house lawyer, if you're listening to this, this is not financial advice, but go buy a lottery ticket. I thought y'all would enjoy this. And the last thing to report for today's daily download is on Sunday, there was another game day voice chat in the VFriends Discord. If you're not familiar with this, VFriends is participating in NFT Red Zone. It's a fantasy football league with VFriends, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Cool Cats, and other NFT projects. You can participate by claiming your NFL role. You do that in the announcements channel. Scroll up. It'll be 3 or 4 announcements up to the Dinobot message, and there's a football emoji. By clicking that, you claim the NFL role and you unlock all those chats. If you're in the chat on Sunday, the voice chat, you're able to mint a free POAP, the art created by someone in the community, but the token itself confirmed by the VFriends team. So, by all intents and purposes, it is a VFriends NFT. Very possibly, I don't know if who knows what's going to happen in the future. Regardless of if it's going to be worth something in the future, it's VFriends official, and it'll make a nice. I'm just saying it would be nice in your collection, and I want you to participate because there's so much good happening in the space. A lot of communities growing and building together. So this is one way that VFriends is going deeper, especially during football season. We know it's important to Gary, who's at the lead of this. So if you're into football or if you're into POAPs, go claim your NFL role and head over to that voice chat. Maybe a little more housekeeping and PLP frequently asked questions. You are still eligible for the PLP, regardless of if you have connected to vfriends.com or if your token is in a cold or a hardware wallet. You don't have to be connected to the website because this is just a snapshot of the blockchain. But what I do want you to know is that the Grills gang PLP is not an airdrop like Dapper Dinos. It's a whitelist. So those who win 555 selected wallets will have to go and mint for free and pay gas one Grills Gang NFT if chosen. It's really important that you're only following links directly from Grills Gang on their Discord, their Twitter, or within the VFriends server. I imagine, just like we saw with Dapper Dinos, there will be a coordinated effort to scam people, to trick them into thinking they're whitelisted when they're not, and otherwise manipulate them into stealing their ETH. So with that, I have there's always more, isn't there? There's always more. Like, did you catch this week that there was a tweet from Gary where he says "darn," LOL, and depending on how you read this, he almost capitulated to the community to accept that GOO, Gary originally owned, is pronounced goo. One of our community members, Kyle, posted on Twitter. He said, "Pronounce these out loud. Moo, zoo, two, now goo." And it was a big laugh. And he commented afterward, "The market is the market, Gary." And Gary said, "Darn, LOL." So I don't know. I'm not reading too much into it. I'm going to continue to say go, even though I think the community has rallied around goo, but the market is the market. And that darn kind of gave me a sense that, he was acknowledging that and respecting that in the community for what it is. And last but not least, and this is wonderful. Last but not least, Gary V has completed the audiobook recording for 12 and a half. They did this over 3 sessions. There was a lot of great content from Raghav on Twitter, some funny outtakes on Gary's Instagram of him trying to pronounce quotient. So check those out. The audiobook is recorded. I said locked, but they might always, they could re-record something. On the note of the 12 and a half book NFTs, just to review for people, if you purchased 12 books or any multiple of 12 during that 24-hour period and submitted your receipt to the form, then you are due for 1 NFT per 12 books. Those books will be shipped when the book is released on November 16th, and we're expecting the NFT to come 3 weeks later. We still don't know what this NFT is, but we do know that it will be VFriends branded. It'll be a VFriends 1.5 of sorts. We expect it to have a massive supply, and we don't know how Gary is going to manage that, but he did say demand solves all supply issues. He could potentially introduce a burn mechanism as an incentive of some kind. Time will tell on that, but he did say in the Discord that he has some ideas. And if you're in India or in Iraq, we have still not gotten guidance on the stocking issues if you're having trouble purchasing through Amazon. So TBA on that, but I'm expecting something in the next 7 to 10 days, as they told everyone that they would follow up on October 1st with those who submitted forms to verify wallet addresses and verify the number of NFTs meant to be delivered. So that is still in the pipeline. But again, the books will be shipped, not delivered, but shipped on November 16th, 2 days after Gary's 46th birthday, I believe. And the NFTs will come a few weeks afterwards in December. So there it is. A calm, cool, collected, late night daily download for you to kick off the week. I'll remind you a couple of things. We are streaming this Wednesday at 8 p.m. on twitch.tv/VFriends. I believe our guest this week will be Riz, who is the one who fractionalized their core hard pick. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. Then we'll do the weekly news in Clubhouse as well. The VFam Not Yet a DAO is working. You can join my Discord to get up to speed on that. I'm going to record a podcast update about it next. And lastly, if you applied for the Sorcerer Scholarship token, I would like to highlight your story on Instagram in the form of 3 pieces of content. Just DM me about it. There's a form. I'm following up with people today, and I would like to just share as many stories as possible and create a networking tool in an Instagram gallery. It'll be very nice to also get to know you all better by doing that. So I think those are the updates. That's the news. Gary has broken his silence. And I don't think I told you this is the perfect thing to end with. Gary's message to break the silence was, when I'm quiet, I'm dangerous at everyone. So let's fucking go. My name is Jeremy. I'm the Heart Trooper number 7. This was the daily download on Jeremy Knows. Thank you for listening. I will see you tomorrow. Here's a question. When is it going to be season 2? When is the podcast going to go into season 2? Until Oh, good. Oh, good. Thank you, Curious. I'm glad that was a good one. I'm glad to hear that. I really am. Let's put another one together. So this one was daily download 920 part 1. Daily download 920 part 2. What was Thursday? 9, 19, 18, 17, 16. All right. Good, good, good. Let me just check in with Twitter real quick. Twitter do it. I forgot. I put out a competition today. I put out a competition to Twitter. I've changed my mind. I'm not giving away. I'm giving away all of them. Sorry, bro. This account. If you see this account, the father 88 looks like this. It's not true. I mean, I didn't verify it, but multiple people tagged me in a giveaway that I posted for apes, and they're like, this person doesn't own these apes. Where's my other note? Are you telling me? Are you telling me my new note isn't here? Fine. I'll go to. Yeah, let me go. No, I need to Google. There it is. Here. Here. Let's close this and go to. We can close this, and we can close this. Great, much better. Where's Twitter? I lost it. Here. Okay, good. Caught up on some notifications. What's good, fam? Who's in the house? I'm glad you enjoyed that last episode. Okay, let's do another one. We're gonna get on a roll here. Kind of already on a roll. The next one I wanted to record was the VFAM update. Okay. Good morning, good evening, good night, and welcome back, my friends. My name is Jeremy. I'd like to invite you to this special episode of the Jeremy Knows podcast. We had our second VFAM Not Yet a DAO meeting today in our Discord at 12 Eastern time. It went for 3.5 hours. It was very productive. And while there is a 3-hour playback of the meeting, I thought it would be helpful to go and just give a brief summary. I do have some reservations about this that I will speak out to the universe and therefore absolve myself of, and that is I do not personally speak for the VFAM project. And this is a point of clarification. We've been calling ourselves the VFAM DAO because we have the ambition of creating a DAO, and that is in the medium and long-term goals. But because we won't have the ability to make the decisions necessary and properly set up a DAO before the Christie's auction on October 1st, we will no longer be calling ourselves that. We don't want to confuse people. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, what the hell is going on? Let me roll it back a bit, and then I'll give you the update on where we are with the project and the things that we accomplished today. So we're aware that Gary V has sent 5 of his original drawings, 4 of which were minted as NFTs in VFriends. 1 is the Empathetic Elephant and Alpha drawing, a sort of draft. Those 5 drawings are going to the Christie's auction house and they'll be auctioned to the highest bidder on October 1st. I presented an idea on Twitter that what if the community pitched in and we got small dollar donations and we're able to put in a serious bid in at auction. That idea caught fire a little bit, and as of now, let's actually get a proper number in my Discord, which you can join by going to the link in my Instagram or Twitter bio. There are now 133 people who have claimed the role for VFAM, which is remarkable. We actually set up this role structure today. So if you go to the Discord, you want to go to the Getting Started page. You won't see any of the VFAM or the VFAM task force channels. You'll just see Getting Started. And there's a diamond icon. Go to Join VFAM, and there are 4 emojis. By claiming the scales on the left, you will unlock viewing permissions for all of the VFAM Christie's related things. And the other 3 are for folks who want to specifically be involved in the logistics of creating content, educating the rest of the community on this opportunity once we've answered a lot of the questions that are still on the table. The Christie's logistics of bidding, fees, and acquisition and management of the asset afterward, should we win, and LLC logistics, because this gets much more complicated with the physical asset, and it looks like we will need a limited liability company to be custodian of the physical asset should we win. Now, I know you're thinking, what happens if we don't win? And some of the things I'm expressing have been not unofficial consent, and then later I will clarify for you exactly what has been voted on and affirmed in the ways that we determined. So, excuse me. So I know what you're thinking. Well, what happens if you don't win? And we've decided as a collective that there will not be an option to regain the funds that you contributed by contributing to this pot, which will be managed through a multi-signature wallet in which more than one person will be required to sign on any given transaction out of the wallet. Once you're in, basically. If we lose the bid at Christie's, then we will use the funds to obtain a high value NFT. And we're keeping it broad there because it depends how much Ethereum we gather to determine what we might go for. If we do very well and we hit 100 Ethereum, then we could consider getting the story to Gary and potentially bidding on a mid-tier spectacular go, or maybe there's a punk that's down in that range. maybe it's an epic go with that much ETH. We could also sweep the VFriends floor and pick up a few in more of a short, medium term profit strategy. Or we could also deploy those funds into DeFi and create some kind of revenue for the project. All of those things are on the table, but none of them will be discussed until they are the most urgent thing. It's one objective at a time. And what was important for us to know in the short term is that conversation will be had, but that we're on board with looking at other assets, essentially, just to say that, like, once you're in this, you're in this. We either get the VFriends art at Christie's or we get a high value NFT. There's no splitting the pot. There's no splitting the pot. Once you've contributed your funds, then you are allowing the majority to determine what we do with those funds. And if you're listening to this and you're kind of interested, that's really, really great. You should join the Discord, but we will not be setting up this wallet and we will not be receiving any ETH until the content team, which is we set up 3 task forces today. So forgive me if this isn't a super organized recap. I'm just trying to get as much information in as little time. We set up 3 task forces today, and one of them is a content team, because we need to create a document where all of these particulars of the project, what is the opportunity at Christie's, what's being auctioned there, why would we want to attain it, and why is it going to be a good investment, what are the mechanics of the multi-signature wallet, how do we track it, like is it a simple voting majority, everyone's vote is equal, or is it proportional based on what you contributed, is your ownership proportional to your contribution, all those things. Everything needs to be laid out so that people can be educated and making an educated investment in this project if they so choose. So that's one of the task forces. The other is Christie's logistics, coordinating with Christie's, getting answers about how we can bid from a company wallet instead of an individual wallet. And then the LLC logistics, doing research on if Wyoming will be right, because they have a new law where LLCs can be associated with DAOs, or do we need to look at alternatives, states where there is lower sales tax? Because we discovered, thanks to Faustus, who's been a great leader, that any bid at Christie's under $600,000 automatically triggers a 25% fee to Christie's, which means that if we were to get 100 Ethereum to bid with, we would only be able to bid with 75 so that we have enough for the fees. But on top of that, you have sales tax within the state of New York. And then there may also be shipping costs if you can't pick it up in person. So there are a lot of particulars. And there's also a sort of like high intensity time frame with the auctions. The way it will go is the empathetic elephant will be auctioned to the highest bidder, then the gratitude gorilla. And once that's sold, they'll open auction for the diamond hands hen, followed by the you're gonna die fly, and then the tremendous tiger. But each of those moments where you can outbid the highest bidder is about 60 to 90 seconds, according to Christie's representatives. So that's a very limited time for us to be making high stakes decisions and requiring multiple signatures on a wallet. So we needed a task force to make sure we're prepared and ready for that. I'm very proud to say, and I'm actually going to go through all of the announcements and read them to you so that somebody can listen to this podcast and capture a gist of the 3-hour meeting in, 15 minutes. So, and this is really fun. Like, this is collaboration in action. I was so proud of the group today. So we determined how we would vote. We had a vote to address how we would vote. And we decided to use a simple voting system of majority rules for actionable items, everyone's vote being equal. In the medium term and long term, we have discussed, and I think people are in favor of, a proportional voting system. So if you contributed 5% of the DAO's purchasing value, then your vote is weighted 5%. But for the efficiency of this week, where a lot of things have to happen in a short period of time, this was the proposal. 49 people voted yes, 1 person voted no. Then we now that we established that we could vote in these up or down polls on Discord, and again, you can see all these votes in the VFAM announcements channel after you claim your VFAM role in the Jeremy Knows server. And if you need an invite to the Jeremy Knows server, go to the bio link on Instagram or Twitter, or go to wannabevfriend.com, and it's hyperlinked there at the bottom. So then we made our first vote, VFAM vote number 1. In order to move a proposal into the DAO announcements for a formal vote, a member of the VFAM must post in the Christie's, what will be the general VFAM chat after Christie's, and receive 10 thumbs up from others in the server, essentially saying that 11 people have to want to vote in order to move any proposal from any VFAM member into this official announcements channel, where there's more of a ceremonial up or down vote. 56 people voted in favor of this, 0 voted against. And it's really great to see these numbers, because we've got 56 on this one, 49 on the previous one. And during the meeting, there were like 20 to 25, which means that a good 20 to 30 people came to check in on these and actually cast their vote. Really love to see that. Then, thanks to Eric, we got a poll bot in the announcements channel. So now it's just simply A or B, yes or no on these. And you know, when doing the polls, you can adjust them. So instead of thumbs down, now we have A and B, but I'll tell them to you in yay versus nay. The next question we asked was, what is the minimum required vote to have the vote be ratified, essentially? If it requires 11 people to call a vote, how many people does it take to have a vote be official? And in the short term, for now, we decided that the minimum required vote from the VFAM to confirm an action is a simple 51% majority of 20 votes or more. In this case, 61 people voted yes, and 2 people voted no. So just to sort of put some context on this, if 11 people want to vote on something, they can create a poll and move it into the official VFAM announcements where these up or down votes are held. So long as 9 more people participate and there's a majority of 11 on one side, then that vote is confirmed. Now, if there's 100 people who participate in the vote, you need 51 votes. You'll still need 51% of the total, but only 20 people have to participate in a vote in order to confirm it. Then we decided that we really needed to elect leaders for each of the task forces so that there could be a point person, and that we could have a smaller admin group that is sort of consolidating, keeping track, following up with questions in between the larger group meetings and whatever the task force are doing independently. So we confirmed, the question was, confirm the nomination of Faustus as the lead of the Christie's Logistics Task Force. 55 people said yes, 1 person said no. We confirmed Monica Dawn as the lead of the LLC Logistics, 57-1. And we confirmed myself, Want to Be a V-Friend, as the lead on the content team, 59-1. Then this post is just saying, then the next post says, check out all these proposals. You have 12 hours to have your voice heard. So if you're listening to this, you have a couple of hours if you want to contribute. Then the last one, then this is the last vote we made. But, this is pretty significant. Like, I know I'm kind of rambling. This is a little casual, but we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 voted decisions in 3 hours. And we were only voting for the last hour, maybe. I thought it was a very productive meeting. So I'm very thankful for everyone's patience and thoughtfulness with their questions. We're answering questions multiple times, and I guess I want to say, for someone who's listening to this and maybe feels like they're behind or doesn't know anything about a DAO or doing anything like this, that's okay. Most of us didn't. We're all learning this process, and it requires asking the obvious to learn. Everyone has to start somewhere. So anyway, the last thing we voted on was to schedule daily meetings from 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time until the auction. No word on what the agendas at these meetings will be, or if they might adjourn early based on the context of the day, but it seemed prudent to just have daily meetings to make sure these conversations keep going. So our next meeting will be tomorrow, today, Tuesday, September 21st at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time or 5:30 p.m. GMT. 40 people voted yes on this and 4 people voted no. That's the scoop, folks. That is the scoop. You can get into the Join VFAM channel by joining the Discord, claim the role. The information's there in the message. You can claim the role so you can unlock all the channels. And I guess the last thing to share is we have a contributions channel. We have a goals channel and a contributions channel with Google Documents, just keeping track of things. So in the contributions, let's just get an update here. After another day of people estimating what they'd be able to contribute, and I sort of want to take a look. Like, we've got 1.25 to most people contributing 0.5 or less. A couple people contributing 1 ETH, 2 ETH, 3 ETH, mostly 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Yeah, most contributions being 0.5. And let's see, input from 8 all the way down to 60. So that makes 52 participants. With 52 participants, we've collected 36.7 ETH estimated. None of this has been collected, and none of it will be collected until the content team can finish their work. And beyond that, the VFAM project answers more of these questions. But that is amazing. 36.7 ETH. My personal goal was to have a serious 6-figure bid at Christie's. And in reality, this is not quite a 6-figure bid. This is a 6-figure pot because, as I mentioned, we can only bet with 66% of what we raise. So we're not quite at a 6-figure bid, but we are closing in on it fast. And this is very bullish. This is 36 ETH that people would like to dedicate before we've even been able to sort of like market it to a wider audience and make sure that they understand what they're getting into. So whether you were in the meeting today and you just wanted to catch up, or you missed the meeting and wanted to catch up, or you never heard of this and you're like, wow, look at this community organization. This is big. I mean, I don't know. This could be the start of something very historic, or not. Time will tell. I'm very proud to be in the ranks of these folks. I think I mentioned all of the biggest things. I guess you should know that claiming your VFAM role will allow you to read most channels, but it will only allow you to write in Christie's and questions. So both of those channels are really great for starting discussions, and our meetings are held in the voice channel called Boardroom at the bottom of the VFAM category. So 20 minutes, everything you needed to know about that's nice, right? 3 hours summarized in 20 minutes. Hopefully this was valuable for you. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you in the meeting tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. My name is Jeremy. I'm the Heart Trooper number 7. This has been the VFAM Not Yet a DAO update on the Jeremy Knows podcast, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, folks. Let me check Twitch. Oh, wow. That was good. What else? Tapes tonight? What? For real? Clients. I love clients who text me at midnight. Good night, Curious Jess. Thank you for hanging out. Good night. Okay. I feel like there was one more. Podcast, but I didn't write it down here. Maybe that was it. I would like to do a deep dive on props and drops and marketing for the now, but that's not for the moment. Oh, scams. Okay, one more podcast for today. Are you guys liking this 4 podcasts in one day onslaught of value? I hope so. Welcome back to the show. My name's Jeremy. This is Jeremy Knows. We talk about this often, so I'm going to try to keep this brief, but anytime a new scam comes on my radar, I feel obligated to bring it to you and try to give you tools to not get taken advantage of or have any of your assets stolen. So let's quickly review some of the scams that we've seen in the past. And I'm gonna lump together scams and sort of like bad intentions. So like one version of bad intentions is someone bidding on your token in US dollar coin instead of Ethereum. This happened very early in the VFriends process where people bought for 0.5. So they saw an offer for 2 and they were like, holy crap, 4 times. But they didn't realize the offer was in dollars and not Ethereum. So there's some bad intentions out there, right? More of a scam we see with fake collections. Be sure to verify. It's great when the collection is actually verified and has the blue check, but it doesn't always. So to protect yourself, when you're going to new projects, new collections, get the link directly from their Discord or from Twitter, and you should be good. That being said, a little note on links. And again, I say all this stuff just to educate and just to hopefully protect people. I don't want to scare you, but certain links can be hiding malware. And so we did a Twitter Spaces on this today where a developer was suggesting to only open links you're not familiar with on your phone and never on your desktop, because even if you don't sign a transaction with a fraudulent contract or type in your seed phrase or any of the things that we've heard before, just by clicking on the wrong link, you can download a malware that may be a keylogger, which is the type of program that follows your keystrokes in order to try to learn your password and then input it while you're away, or log into your accounts from whatever their remote access may be. And there are other versions of that. So just be mindful of links. Don't go clicking just any link you see on Twitter. As much as you can, only follow links from official Discord servers, admins, and moderators. Moving sort of through the line of scams and bad intentions, we have the copycats. We have 2 kinds of copycats. We have web page copycats. People posing a website as MetaMask or OpenSea, but it's not OpenSea.io, it's OpenSea.com, and it's actually asking you to sign for. It's asking for you to connect your wallet so that they can steal your assets. And then we also have the individual copycatters. We have people posing as and copying the profile pictures of Gary Vee and Craniac and other trusted figures within Discord servers, usually admins or moderators, brokering some kind of deal, presenting themselves as this person of trust, but not actually being that person. And then once the one party sends their Ethereum, disappearing, deleting the chat and all the rest. So how can you protect yourself? Verify who you're talking to. If you think you're talking to an admin in the VFriends Discord, for example, you can go over to the right side and look at the members list, and the admins will be there at the top. You can right click and hit message them. If it doesn't bring up the same chat thread that you're already in with a so-called Craniac or a so-called Gary V, then you know you're speaking to somebody who's fraudulent. These people can be very personal, very psychologically manipulative, and sometimes very patient. We've seen scammers have casual conversations with users for 2 months before pulling a trigger. Sometimes being more aggressive and putting some kind of time limit to trigger your FOMO to make you make a bad decision. Don't do that. This is a market where you need to move fast, but it's never worth not double and triple checking to verify who you're speaking to. And it is possible for these copycat users to copy the profile picture, the name, and even the hashtag number of the person. So one shortcut is to open a direct message thread with the person like I described, or there is a secondary way where you can turn on developer mode in your user settings, and you'll actually be able to see a user ID that is unique, and you can compare that to the person you're speaking to. But for most folks, it will be easier just to open a chat thread with the user that they know is the real one. On that note, Gary V will never ask you for your seed phrase. Andy Craniac will never ask you for your seed phrase. Never enter your seed phrase into a site that you're not familiar with, even if it's MetaMask. I get a lot of messages of people being concerned about this because they have their MetaMask connected on their phone, but not on their desktop. And in order to get it on their desktop, yes, you need to put in your seed phrase. That's okay. But where people get caught up is they're on MetaMask.com, not MetaMask.io. They're not actually in the browser extension like they think they are. They're on a phishing website, or they're at vfriends.ccc instead of vfriends.com. So be sure you're checking your URLs down to the letter. Get the links directly from trusted sources, official Discords for those projects. It is okay to use your seed phrase when authorizing a new device to control your wallet, but otherwise only store your seed phrase analog on paper in a safe place. I highly recommend you keep 2 or 3 copies. Keep one in a safety deposit box, another one buried underground, and another one in a safe place where you can access it should you need to. Always have contingency plans for this. And while we're talking about it, go ahead and order a hardware wallet. I hate this. This is not financial advice, information, education, all the rest. But I personally think that the value and security of a hardware wallet cannot be understated. And I hope that you have the disposable income to spend $130 and maybe $100 in Ethereum gas to get a hardware wallet and secure your most valuable assets there. If you're having trouble with that setup, don't worry. You're not alone. It takes a while. It takes some patience. Lean on the community. Ask questions. We're all here to help. Moving through some of these scams, we've been seeing false offer emails. So we've been seeing this scam where you receive an email that looks exactly the same as when OpenSea sends you an email that you've received a wrapped ETH offer. But when you receive that email from OpenSea, the address is something like offers@opensea.io or trading@opensea.io. Whatever it is, the email address is @opensea.io. And these fake addresses have been from something opensea@gmail.com. And usually the offers are more attractive. They're usually above market rate. And so it gets the user to click on the view item. And that view item link takes them to a fake OpenSea account, which asks them to connect their wallet. And by doing so, they've now compromised and exposed their wallet to these scammers. So how can you protect yourself from this one? Well, number one, when you receive an offer from OpenSea, if it's an offer that you're interested in, first check the email address. Never click the view item button. Just don't do it. You can just as easily see those offers. Just see what token it's associated with. Go to the computer that you access OpenSea through with your wallet connected. and go to that token. If it's a real offer, it'll be there in the list of offers. And if it's not, then you know that that was a scam attempt, and you should block that email address. Great. Moving forward, and I may forget one of these because there are so many. Let's talk about Discord DM bots. If you're receiving a message that says you've won a certain amount of cryptocurrency, you haven't. If you're receiving a message from an admin or a project directly and they're congratulating you or telling you they're open for the public mint and this is a safe link, it's not. Be very, very careful about the Discord DMs. I recommend for most people, you are better off going into your user settings on Discord, go to settings and privacy, go to privacy and safety, user settings, privacy and safety, and turn off direct messages from others in the server. That way you'll only be able to receive messages from people who you've added as friends. And this is a great way to add security to your Discord profile. If somebody tries to DM you, they'll receive a response alerting them that you don't receive DMs, and they can tag you in a shared server and say, "Hey, accept my friend request. I have I have something to talk to you about." It is totally worth the extra 30 seconds to 5 minutes that it takes to get a friend request accepted, to just not be dealing with the onslaught of these messages. I have my DMs on because people I don't know are on the daily asking me questions and asking me for help. So I leave my DMs open for them, but each day I have to delete anywhere from 3 to 12 fraudulent messages. Please be on the lookout. Please be wary, very wary. Please do not click these links and just go ahead and delete them. The prevailing advice is do not engage. That applies to Discord DMs, and it applies to the most recent scam, which has triggered this secondary follow-up scam podcast within the same week as the previous one, and that is Airdrop Nfts. So there was a significant Twitter thread that came out as someone purported that they were scammed out of several of their tokens after engaging with a airdropped NFT that they did not expect, and they received from a user that they did not know. I told you in the previous podcast that it is safe to hide these NFTs, but otherwise do not engage. Do not list them. Do not move them to another wallet. Do not move them to a burn wallet. Do not accept any offers on these tokens. And that is still okay. I did suggest in my post about this on Twitter to just not engage with these tokens at all. And the reason is we can't know if there is some sort of Trojan horse coding in the smart contract tied to that NFT that can be triggered with a signature event like accepting of an offer or even a listing of the token. And I just told everybody, don't engage at all, don't even hide, because this hack or this scam was still under investigation. We weren't sure what happened. We're still not really sure. But more conversation has come out about this on Twitter, and it seems certain the community has a consensus that it is totally safe to hide these unexpected NFTs. And I'll tell you why. Because even though you have to sign with your wallet to hide an NFT, you are not interacting with the token contract itself. When you are listing an NFT, you are paying gas to the blockchain to interact with the contract associated with that NFT to make it available for sale. You confirm it, it does that. When you are moving an NFT, you're moving it out of your address and you're having the blockchain process the transaction to move it to a different address. You're interacting directly with that token contract. For the hide function, that's actually not within the Ethereum blockchain. And that's also why it doesn't cost gas to hide your NFTs, because OpenSea is like a window into the blockchain. It allows you to view a wallet and its contents. But by hiding a NFT, fraudulent or not, you are just interacting with the user interface of OpenSea. You're not signing anything on the blockchain and therefore not interacting with the token. So the best advice I can give you if you want to exercise the absolute most caution, don't touch these NFTs. Although the community consensus is perfectly safe to hide them, just please do not accept any wrapped offers on them to try to get them out of your wallet. Do not list them and do not send them out of your wallet. I know this is a shitty situation. There doesn't seem to be a solution for this on the horizon right now, but I guarantee you someone is working on it. In the meantime, please just don't get duped. Please get a hardware wallet. Please do not share your seed phrase. Please do not share your screen. That's another one that came around. The sync with mobile function on MetaMask. This scam totally sucked, because what they would do is they would find people who were having failed transactions, and then they would reach out to them as if they were representatives of MetaMask or OpenSea, and move them into a Discord server, a MetaMask or OpenSea support server, where through the Discord platform, they shared screens with these victims and got them to click on the sync with mobile in their MetaMask browser extension, which pops up a QR code that essentially holds your seed phrase. So they would quickly capture that QR code, access your wallet, empty it. So that is why we say do not share your screen. It's not because sharing it's not like I share my screen all the time on my live streams. That's not what we're talking about. It's because of this very specific hack. This very specific scam where people were under the impression they were receiving support from these centralized companies like OpenSea to help with a failed transaction, when instead they had no relationship to OpenSea. They were just getting people to show their private keys so that they could rob them of their tokens. And I believe that's the scoop. So I know 20 minutes isn't the fastest rundown, but those are all the scams that I've seen in the last 4 months being in the space. I hope now that they've been explained to you again, you will be more cautious and be more vigilant and see them when they arise. The thing to really be aware of in all this, and I've said it many times and I'll continue to say it, the scammers behind these plots, these initiatives, they have a very high incentive with a very low amount of effort. They only have to capture a couple of victims, if not just one, to make a really great day's profit. And so their incentive to improve is very, very high. And it's inevitable that these scams, as we've seen over the last few months, will get more sophisticated and more psychologically manipulative. So please watch the way that you're reacting to the market. Please try to double and triple check anything you're doing in the crypto space. You are your own central bank. You are responsible for your assets. You are responsible for making sure the decimal is in the right place on your listing. Please, please be very mindful. Please be very watchful. There was one thing more I wanted to leave you with, and it's slipped away from me now. Will it return? No one knows. This is very important, my friends. No, I suppose it'll come back to me when the time is right. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. And thank you also for sharing this information with your friends that you're onboarding into the space. Nothing is more important. Yes, you can teach them about investing in people over projects. Yes, you can point them toward the signs of a long-term project. But in my opinion, nothing is more valuable than teaching the people you're onboarding how to protect themselves, practice wallet safety, and how to just be vigilant in a world where these scams are so prevalent. Okay, so I've said enough on the matter. I tried to remember that last thing, but it is not coming back to me. And I really want to remember this now, people. I said the podcast was 20 minutes, so I've got like a minute and a half. What the hell was it? It was something in the ballpark of scams. Okay, had to pause for a second. This is okay, had to pause for a second. This is a little bit more of a prediction and a warning. This came from someone in the VFriends Insiders room as we were trying to comprehend how this person was scammed by interacting with the airdrop token. And they presented a possibility that doesn't exist yet, but it could. And so I'm going to tell you about it, because the whole end of my rant there was we need to do less. We need to do less putting on the Band-Aid to figure out how to address scams after they've already devastated people, and do more to teach people how to spot scams when they're a clear and present danger, and to see them as such. And someone in the clubhouse suggested that the next iteration of this would be copycat tokens. And so go with me here. If a VFriends token, my phone is buzzing. If a what am I saying? If a airdrop token that you were not expecting in your wallet can contain some kind of Trojan horse coding that when you list it or accept an offer or move it is triggered and gives the scammer access to your wallet, where they can now send your NFTs out to their wallet, then they could put that same kind of contract in a token that you do recognize. For example, I have a Heart Trooper in my wallet. They could send me a token that looks just like my Heart Trooper and copy all the same properties, or as much as they want to. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be able to copy the verified check mark, but I don't know. Things can get more and more sophisticated. But essentially, they would send you another version of the NFT that you expect in your wallet. And when you would go to list it, thinking it was the authentic token, but it turned out to be the fraudulent token, triggering this Trojan horse contract and making you vulnerable. So it doesn't seem like that's happening yet, but it is a possibility in the future. So just keep a close eye on your collection. You know, it's not a bad idea to know how many NFTs you have in your wallet. And if it changes, see why it has changed. You know, check your activity on a daily basis. See if you've been sent anything. And if you have, again, don't engage with it. You can hide it, but do not engage with it in any other way where you would sign with your wallet. Until we can figure this out in a macro sense as a community, this is going to be a continuing problem. But I had to tell you about it, and I hope that this podcast reminded you of something, a best practice, alerted you of something. It shouldn't make you afraid. It should make you confident that you're surrounded by good people that don't want to see you hurt, and yeah, just happy to be in a community that takes care of each other. Please pass this on to new people that you know entering the space, and let's just make scams a thing of the past. I know they're going to constantly innovate and all the rest, but like let's protect each other. Let's share the good word and educate. So again, my name is Jeremy. I'm the Heart Trooper number 7. This was there's a new scam on the block from Jeremy Knows. God, recording these scam podcasts put me in such a bad mood, but it's all good. I appreciate you listening to the podcast. Thank you so much. I put out 4 or 5 podcasts a day, so I'd love it if you check them out. We released one on the Daily Download, news in the VFriends space in the last 4 or 5 days. We released one on the Sorcerer Scholarship update, which came on Monday, the 20th of September. And we also released an update on the VFam Not Yet a DAO project, which is the VFriends community gathering small donations or investments rather, from each person in the community, or as many people as are interested, to bid at Christie's for the VFriends art. So there's a lot of good content on the podcast. Just wanted to bring that to your attention in case you missed it. Cool. Thank you again for listening. I'm Jeremy the Heart Trooper number 7. This has been Jeremy Knows, and I'll see you tomorrow. What's this? Good morning, good evening, good night, and welcome back, my friends. My name is Jeremy. I'd like to invite you to this special episode of the Jeremy Knows podcast.
Wait,
we had our
why don't I have sound?
Good morning, good evening, good sort of draft. Those 5 drawings are
don't
going to
tell me
the
I
Christie's
recorded all
auction
those
house.
podcasts
Will
without
be auctioned to
sound.
the highest bidder on October 1st. I presented an idea on Twitter that what if the community
What's happening? I will be a little upset.
Okay, had to pause for a second. This is a little bit more of a prediction and a warning. This came from someone in the VFriends Insiders room as we were trying to comprehend how this person was scammed by interacting with the airdrop token. And they presented a possibility that doesn't exist yet, but it could. And so I'm going to tell you about it because
what's going on?
The whole end of my rant there was we need to do less. We need to do less putting on the Band-Aid to figure out how to address scams after they've already devastated people, and do more to teach people how to spot scams. Good morning, good evening, good night, and welcome back, my friends. My name is Jeremy. I'd like to invite you to this special episode of the Jeremy Knows podcast. We had our second
What are we doing? 84? How we doing, folks? Anybody around? 2 folks. Appreciate you. Episode 84. VFam. Not yet. Ow. Update. That was interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm still streaming. I should probably bring this to a close. I'm just sort of checking in on Twitter. I feel like, did I post all those podcasts? I think I did. Let me just check Gary real quick. Wow. Is this true? Is this really Snoop Dogg? Is this a joke? I can't tell if this is a joke or not. Okay, well, I followed anyway. Let's go back to Gary. Yeah, he's been real quiet. Real quiet. That's exciting. Oh, am I not sharing my screen? No, I am. Okay, good. Good stuff. I don't need to go through those. We talked about this. Do we have the podcast up? We recorded 1, 2, 3. I think I still have to post the scam podcast. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Good morning. Good evening. What is this? Episode 85. Let's go. Episode 85. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Okay, just looked, but turn on the scams. Super interesting. Okay. I think it's time for bed. Off to bed we go. Adios, adios, and thank you for the show. I will see you tomorrow when the grass is out to grow, and I know that we'll find our way. Ha ha, and I know we'll find our way. I'm wacky right now. I took a shower at like 11:30 p.m. I'm like not actually tired, but I should go to bed. Thank you for another wonderful day. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for being a part of Be Friends. Disclaimer, all of the opinions on this channel are my own. I am not officially associated with Be Friends. I am simply holding this tag and have alerted the team that they can take over the twitch.tv/VFriends tag whenever they like, and they are allowing me to continue post my own research that I compile from public information on Twitter and the blockchain and Discord and all the rest, until which point they can hire a staff to create and maintain content on this channel. Just FYI, I'm just a fan with a fan page. Yep, tomorrow I'm sure we'll be doing something, but for the most part, we'll be back Wednesday evening for the super stream. So